So remember that time that JK Rowling could not shut the hell up about trans people for like 5 consecutive years? And it's kind of like, it's like the only thing she talks about is kind of how it feels at this point. I'm sure maybe she's like, occasionally she's like, hey, check out my book where I wrote about how a crossdresser is a murderer under my conversion therapist pen name. Anyway, yeah, it's like the only thing she does. Most recently, and we did talk about it, there's this Olympic boxer, and I'm sure that you've heard at this point, holy cow, like unless you've been living under a rock, Imane Khelif. She's a boxer, and she hit her Italian opponent so hard that the Italian like stopped the match after like 45 seconds. And people were like, oh my God, Imane is a man. She's beating up women, or he's beating up women. And it was this whole thing, like literally an international scandal, effectively, where, you know, there's like a Russian boxing league that said that Imane Khelif didn't pass their qualifications to perform with women. But it's weird because that only happened after she defeated the Russian, like the lady that the Russians wanted to win, basically the Russian candidate, and because she previously had competed just fine. Anyhow, so this is kind of grown. Like I thought that this story was more or less over because, okay, yeah, we've talked about it. It's yeah, someone hit someone in boxing. Can't have that. But I could have, I was like, all right, you know, the Olympics is over. Imane Khelif won the gold, which is incredible. Like, happy for her. She's from Algeria, a country in which it's not legal for you to be trans. So there's no way that she's trans, whatever. And yeah, anyway, like I said, I just thought that it was over. But twist, JK Rowling might be in the find out phase where there's actually been some consequences for her actions. Yes, also the IBA was unable to substantiate their claims because they provided no evidence as to why Imane supposedly failed the gender test. So just a ton of speculation, unfounded speculation surrounding that issue. But apparently, Imane Khelif has now started a lawsuit or perhaps a criminal complaint directed at, it's naming JK Rowling and Elon Musk in this cyberbullying lawsuit. So that's Imane Khelif, if you don't remember what she looks like. JK Rowling, Elon Musk, of course. Right, so JK Rowling and Elon Musk have both been named in a criminal complaint filed to French authorities over acts of alleged, quote, acts of acts of aggravated cyber harassment against Imane Khelif. The Paris-based attorney of Khelif, Nabil Boudi, confirmed to Variety that both figures were mentioned in the body of the complaint, posted to the Anti-Online Hatred Center of the Paris Prosecutor's Office on Friday. In a statement sent to Variety, the Paris Prosecutor's Office confirmed it received the complaint filed by Khelif and announced that an investigation had been launched. On August 13th, this National Center for the Fight Against Online Hatred contacted the Central Office for the Fight Against Crimes Against Humanity and Hate Crimes, oh my God, to conduct an investigation into the counts of cyber harassment due to gender, public insult because of gender, public incitement to discrimination, and public insult because of origin. The lawsuit was filed against Twitter, which under French law means that it was filed against unknown persons, which, quote, ensures that the prosecution has all the latitude to be able to investigate against all people, including those who may have written hateful messages under pseudonyms, says Boudi. The complaint nevertheless mentions famously controversial figures. JK Rowling and Elon Musk are named in the lawsuit, among others, adding that Donald Trump would be part of the investigation. Trump tweeted, so whether or not he is named in our lawsuit, he will inevitably be looked into as part of the prosecution. Khelif on Saturday won the Olympic gold medal in the women's 66-kilogram boxing competition, spent much of the 2024 Olympics in Paris at the center of this noisy complaint, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we already talked about that. Yes, she was born female. She's not trans. As far as we know, she's not intersex. Just like this crazy backlash against her for no reason. So notably, Rowling posted a picture from Khelif's fight with Italian boxer Angela Carini, accusing Imane of being a man who was, quote, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head. Musk also shared a post from swimmer Riley Gaines, which mentioned, quote, men don't belong in women's sports. He said, absolutely. Trump posted a message with a picture from the fight with Karina, accompanied by the message, quote, I will keep men out of women's sports. So apparently the lawyer is asking that the prosecution investigates not only the people named, but whoever it feels necessary. If the case goes to court, they will stand trial. Imagine actually having consequences for your bigoted, hateful commentary. Like, basically, if you're like an American complaining and saying, oh, she's really a man, blah, blah, blah. Imagine the French government being like, excuse me, sir, we would like to have a word. Like, Jesus Christ. An important part of the complaint, she's suing about harassment. A lot of the people on the internet think, oh, they'll just test to see if she's trans or intersex, and those results will determine the outcome. But no, that doesn't actually matter. They're being sued because they incited harassment against Imane, the nature of which is irrelevant to the legality and liability. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's true that she's trans, like she's not trans, but even if she were trans, you can still be held legally liable for inciting harassment against a trans person. Mitternacht and I are here to ask you to hit like on the video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe. Click the bell if you feel like it. You don't have to, though. Feel free to check out the other links in the description because I sell merch like this cute tank top. I'm running a GoFundMe to try to move 2,000 miles across the country to a place where I have rights. And I have a Patreon he's smashing his face against my face. The lawyer claims that even though the lawsuit was filed in France, it could target personalities overseas. Yep. The prosecutor's office for combating online hate speech has the possibility to make requests for mutual legal assistance with other countries. There are agreements with the US equivalent of the French office for combating online hate speech. Wow, that would be incredible. Logan Paul. Yeah. Apparently, so those who posted apologies or public corrections, that doesn't change anything regarding the investigation. The lawsuit is filed and the facts remain. Khelif's coach, Pedro Diaz, said that the bullying that she endured during her run in the Olympics, quote, incredibly affected her and everyone around her. Diaz says the first time she fought in the Olympics, there was this crazy storm outside of the ring. I had never seen anything so disgusting in my life, he said. Diaz said he asked Khelif to refrain from looking at social media so she, quote, wouldn't lose her focus on winning the gold medal. Yeah, I was really unsure if she knew about it while it was happening. Because it seems like you would be more focused on keeping your head in the game. But yeah, she was directed by her coach to stay offline, and she managed to keep her head in the game, and she won gold, which is incredible. Apparently, this is also not the only filing for online harassment during the Paris Olympics. Prosecutors are also investigating a complaint filed by Thomas Jolly, the artistic director of the opening and closing ceremonies, who said he was, quote, the target of threatening messages and insults. And others from DJ Barbara Butch and celebrated drag queen Nikki Doll. Barbara Butch claimed she had received online harassment, death threats, and insults following the opening ceremony. Yeah, again, imagine there being consequences for your actions. You send, like, hatred, harassment, death threats toward people. Man, if there was any motivation to want to move to France, that would be it for sure. I also think Richard Dawkins may be caught up in this. He was part of the hate mob against Imane, and then a couple days ago, he deleted every tweet he's made in the last several years about the Olympics. I don't know how it works in other countries, but I know for sure in the US, that counts as destruction of evidence. And there would be potentially additional charges related to that action. Nikki Doll, if I remember correctly, is the drag queen who sued Lawrence Fox, who is a prolific transphobe, for calling her a pedo. Yeah, consequences for your actions. I think, so it's funny to me that JK Rowling hasn't tweeted in a week. As of recording this video, she has not tweeted in the past week. And a lot of people think it's very funny. And I agree that it's very funny. But I wonder, it's like, did her lawyer tell her not? Because this is a criminal complaint. This is not just I'm suing for civil liabilities. This is a criminal complaint, and there could be criminal action taken against the people who've done this. So, like, did her lawyer tell her not to tweet at all? Or is she just so terminally incapable of talking about anything other than trans people that she just functionally has nothing to say if she's not allowed to bitch about trans people right now? I know that UK is turf island and all, but certainly at some point they've got to know that their defamation laws are a bit looser. Yeah, I guess she just didn't consider that there might be consequences for her actions. That's the problem. Her lawyer told her to stay off of social media. That's what I would guess. Yeah. Maybe the mold got her. I know. It's a very funny narrative, but it's just wallpaper. She's felt untouchable for far too long. Yep. Like, she thinks she can just do anything. Although she did say a couple years ago, I think it was in 2022, she was like, I would gladly go to jail over my views about trans people. Like, okay, good. Maybe you're about to find out that part. People like this will act with all the privilege in the world until someone reminds them that they are not above the law. Yeah, I mean, I will say, for someone with as much money as JK Rowling has, as with many other things, it is unfortunate that the punishment of such is, like, you can pay to get out of jail, or a lot of the time the original punishment is a crime, for the crime anyway, is just a fine. So functionally, a lot of things are illegal for rich people because they can just pay and it doesn't harm them at all, which is why I do think that it would be good to have like a progressive, not a tax, but like a progressive charge where it's maybe like a certain percentage or something. So like a parking ticket might only be like $10 for someone who is in a lower tax income bracket. And then like maybe it should be $20,000 for someone in a higher tax income bracket. Anyone who proclaims they will gladly go to jail for their beliefs will blink the moment consequences emerge. Right. It seems like she has blunked, in fact. Yeah, sometimes these people will shut up a bit after a cease and desist, but then if there's not immediate consequences, they'll just keep violating it more and more, which means you will have more evidence for a stronger case later. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm not sure if there's much more details about this now. Like, I guess I am curious if there is... I don't think in this article, at least, there's any details on what the criminal consequences would be if there were convictions here. Like, would it just be a fine, or would it be something substantial? I can't talk. Words are bad. Words are hard. Yeah, like, could she be arrested? I don't actually know. Like, I don't know, French cyber bullying law. Okay, cool. According to this article here, or this is from statista.com, it says, so referring to online harassment in France, as the virtual presence is becoming more common, indirect confrontations are becoming more frequent. Under the cover of anonymity, harassers have long been able to act with impunity. Reacting to these attacks, the first action against online harassment was put in place by the French government at the end of 2014. Henceforth, any person repeating remarks or behavior with the effect of deteriorating the living conditions of another person was now liable to 1 year of imprisonment and a fine. So if that's the case, if that's the law, yeah, this is not a civil suit. This is a criminal action. So the French law is that you can face 1 year of imprisonment, up to 1 year, I think, and a fine. So it's, yeah, so potentially, if this moves forward, JK Rowling could go to jail, a French jail, I guess, for a year, which would be insane. That is crazy to me. As an American, where we're like free speech absolutists over here to the point where it's harmful to our society. Holy cow. Countries in Europe have passed a lot of pretty nice laws surrounding online harassment and attacks in the past few years. The online and offline spaces are being made more similar when it comes to law. Thank God. Man, that would be hilarious. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, let's see. I mean, I think that it's clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that JK Rowling engaged in this behavior. It's just a matter of what does a French court determine to be appropriate punishment. Sometimes I think blocking some people from using the internet for years at a time would be more effective than jail. Yeah, it's like, nope, you are not allowed to use the internet. The consequences of your actions. Oh, geez. The British press have been noticeably mute on this matter. There is certainly normally a flurry of opinion pieces. These haven't happened yet. Maybe they're in the frame too. I wonder, yeah, if the UK media itself wants to remain out of the potential firing range. Gonna be very exciting to see how long JK Rowling stays weeshed. She remember, women won't weeshed. Well, it looks like you do. It looks like you weeshed. That's like the British way of saying shh. Weeshed. Shush, she shushed. Sending your Ethernet cables to the guillotine. True. Boom. She could literally go to jail. Wow. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much to all my patrons, but especially Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rovag, Jack, Amanda B., Michelle Frateroli, Michelle Winter, Wellington Marcus, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Elavi Nobody, Pastel Infinity, Suzanne Maynard, Nova, Desi Quiche, Celeste, Athiette, Jamie Jam, Sojo, Bean, Kevin Young, Mr. Atheist, Liam Hodgson, Elizabeth Bartell, and Jericho.